Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And let me put it on record that the people of Mpika are very excited and very happy to see you without a mask, Madam Speaker. They are very happy, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my matter of urgent public importance has been overtaken by events.
Okay, thank you very much to the people of Chama North, Kasanengo and Pika. We also send our love and greetings. The Honorable Member for Ron.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Equally, Madam Speaker, let me join my colleagues in sending the greetings from Ron to your office and the National Assembly of Zambia. It's nice, Madam Speaker, that the people of Ron constituents are now able to see clearly who the Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia is. Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker.
Yeah, honorable members, let's stick to the issues, otherwise we are going to drift away from the core business of the House.
Thank you very much for your guidance, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the matter of urgent public importance I wish to raise is directed to the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security. Madam Speaker, during the recess of this August House, certain things happened in this nation, starting with Luano, where people started taking the law in our own hands. Madam Speaker, you recall that there was an instance in Luano where a body of a dead person was purported to have refused to be buried. And this led to confusions. This led to innocent people being targeted as the causes of this death. Not only in Rwanda, Madam Speaker, in Mazabuka, there was the same instance, Madam Speaker, where unfortunately we even lost a life because of this practice. Madam Speaker, the police officers were overpowered by the mob. Recently, Madam Speaker, in Lufwanyama, the same instance happened where these coffins in the bodies were dragging people, trying to take them to the would-be killers. Madam Speaker, I am worried that innocent souls shall be lost in the process if no action is taken. Madam Speaker, I would like you to guide me on what is the Home Affairs Minister is doing to ensure that this practice comes to an end. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The honorable member for Ron is now trying to ask me to develop in issues that are touching on witchcraft. So I'm sure it's very difficult for those, whether those coffins were targeting people where they were moving. But I believe the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs, through the various police officers, they are attending to the matter. So I don't think it's a matter that can qualify to be raised as a matter of urgent public importance. But as leaders ourselves, and I've guided before previously, let's engage. Let's engage with the relevant ministers, to find out what has been done in relation to matters before we raise them on the floor of the House. That way, we will not be looking like we are speculating or fishing for matters of urgent public importance. So that matter is not admitted. We can make progress. Questions for oral answer under Standing Order 74. The Honorable Member for Chasemfu.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Let me also join my colleagues in bringing fraternal greetings to you and the team and to all members of this August House. Madam Speaker, question number 154.
The Honorable Minister of... Sorry. Question number... Honorable Member for Chasef, you said question number what? Number 1.
Question number 1.
Order. With time, we forget the procedures. The Honorable Acting Minister of Home Affairs, Home Affairs and Internal Security, I don't see him. The Honorable Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security.
So sorry, Madam Speaker, IT issues. Honorable Nyambose asked the following question. A, whether the government has any plans to recruit police officers in 2022. And B, if so, whether there are any plans to decentralize the recruitment process to the constituency level. Madam Speaker, in responding to the questions raised by Honorable Nyambose, I wish to inform the House as follows. A, the Zambia Police Service has plans to recruit 3,000 police officers in the year 2022 if Treasury Authority is granted by the Ministry of Finance and National Planning. And B, the recruitment of police officers in the Zambia Police Service has always been decentralized. Provinces receive applications from districts, the screening takes place, and candidates are their own recruited. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The honorable members can now ask supplementary questions. The honorable member for Chinsali.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Acting Minister of Home Affairs, have you tried to liaise with the Minister of Finance to get an idea of when the Treasury Authority is going to be granted so that people can just have an idea of when that is going to materialize? Thank you so much.
The acting leader of government business.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Member. We are in discussions. We have an appointment next week on Wednesday to discuss this one in detail, so that we can see whether some money is available to assist us. I thank you.
Thank you. The honorable member for Chasefu.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and I want to thank the leader of government for the response. However, Madam Speaker, apart from the teachers' recruitment and the health workers' recruitment, there's never been decentralized recruitment in this country. What I mean is that Chasefu has never had a share in terms of recruitment previously. And I want to get this assurance that since now we have embarked on this transparent, decentralized system, the people of Chasefu, the youths, energetic and learned youths, should have that opportunity to get recruited just as you did on the teachers and health workers. And I want to congratulate you and salute you for what you have done. Give us an opportunity that this time you continue in the same trajectory. I want to thank you.
Thank you. Let's be precise and concise when we are asking our supplementary questions. The honorable acting leader of government business. Can we have some order, honorable members? When I was opening, I was saying that discipline starts with each one of us individually. So let's do that by not talking when the House is in session. The honorable leader of government business.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and indeed thank you very much, Honorable Member. One, for the accolades and commendations that you have heaped on this new dawn government. I would like to assure you, Honorable Member, that we are going to do exactly what you desire. We shall decentralize. We shall do it just like we did with the teachers, provincial level, down to the districts. Targets will be given to each district. It's up to each district then to utilize those numbers, which numbers then will come onto the provincial level where the recruitment, the actual recruitment and selection will take place. So please be assured that New Dawn government wants to be transparent, and we shall continue. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chairman North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Minister, for that response. I just wanted to find out if at all you have got specific numbers each district is going um, to benefit. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Leader of Government Business.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Member of Parliament. I'm afraid we have not gotten to that detail as yet, but obviously we will have to do that. Just be patient with us. We shall be able to communicate. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Wacha.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Minister, for the responses so far. I just want to find out, Honorable Minister, suppose the Minister of, or the Minister of Finance does not give a Treasury authority to employ those 3,000 teachers, police officers, I mean. What plans is your ministry or alternative is your ministry having? Is the question clear, Minister? You're asking what? Madam Speaker, my question is, you have indicated that next week on Wednesday, you'll be meeting with the Minister of Finance to discuss the issue to do with the Treasury Authority to employ the 3,000 police officers. Suppose the Treasury Authority is not given, what is the alternative, Honorable Minister? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member for Wacha, according to our standing orders, we cannot ask questions which are based on suppositions. So that question does not stand. We can move to the next question. The Honorable, unless if you want to ask another question, please ask a direct question, not suppositions.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, when the Treasury Authority is granted by the Minister of Finance, would you be specific when these police officers will be recruited? Madam Speaker, I thank you. That one is not a suppose, Madam Speaker.
But I believe the Honorable Minister has already indicated that they are still in discussion. They haven't gone to the details yet. So I'm sure you've exhausted your time. Can we have the Honorable Member for Ron?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, once more. Honorable Minister, may I begin by commending the New Dawn government for the recruitment of 8,000 teachers and the 11,000 health workers. And it is on record, Madam Speaker, that the principal himself has on several forums indicated that there will be nothing like paying something towards being recruited. Honorable Minister, could you assure there would be recruits and sensitize them at the same time that they should not fall prey to paying something when applying for these jobs?
The Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Member, for that question. The new Dawn government is on record, just like the President said that we're on record. We want to fight every form of corruption. And that something is nothing but corruption. So I would like to assure and encourage and sensitize all the would-be recruits in the Zambia police that should there be anybody whatsoever who asks for that something, that person should immediately, without any hesitation at all, be reported to ACC. Because something is corruption, Chabe, corruption. Because something, sir, Honorable Minister, or Honorable Member of Parliament, is basically giving a small token to induce or entice that who is giving a certain service to facilitate and quicken the process so that that person is awarded. So that is the something explanation. That is tantamount to corruption, and we are saying no corruption. So please report any such officer immediately to authorities, recruitment authorities, and or the Anti-Corruption Commission. I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Shiwangando.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And I appreciate the Honorable Minister's responses, and I can agree with him that indeed recruitment of police recruits has always been decentralized according to police establishment. Honorable Minister, Treasury Authority is not given from engaging, from meetings between ministers. All the ministries now, government spending agencies are finalizing their 2023 budget expenditure proposals. Can you confirm to this August House that among your proposals you are submitting to the Minister of Home Finance, there is a budget line which will be catered, which will be specifically for police recruitment? The basis which the minister will use to give you the Treasury Authority. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Kampiongo, for that question. Indeed, Madam Speaker, this is 2022 we are talking about. 2023, the budget line for recruitment is there. However, we need a little money, which was not necessarily very clear in our budget, to commence the recruitment process. That is the advertising, and then eventually the recruitment process up to December, so that in January, come January, after the budget session, the budget line would definitely be approved. We hope, with your assistance, it will be approved, and then we can commence with the training. Training starts in 2023. However, the process starts now, and this is why we are in discussion with the Ministry of Finance to try and get that money which will assist us and facilitate the recruitment process. I thank you.
Thank you. The last question will be from the Honorable Member for Kabwata.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just wanted to know through the Acting Minister of Home Affairs, wanted to find out if, like the way he has said, he has indicated that the process for recruiting the teachers will start. Now, I wanted to find out what assurance is he giving this House that this process will be free from cadreism, unlike what we saw in the past? Thank you.
The Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, Honorable Member for Kabwata. The assurance is in the process that we have just undertaken, and that is the teacher recruitment, which went very freely, cadre-free. The Ministry of Health, health workers recruitment, which went smoothly as well, cadre-free. And therefore, that to me is assurance enough as New Dawn government that we shall follow the same process without late. I thank you.
Thank you. Next question, the Honorable Member for Gwembe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and greetings from the lovely people of Gwembe. Madam Speaker, from the good people of Gwembe, question number 2.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think before I respond to the good people of Gwembe, allow me to say the Minister of Agriculture welcomes the honorable members back to Lusaka. Madam Speaker, they look extremely healthy, and you can tell that food prices have been stable, and therefore they are feeding well. We are happy to see this representation of nutrition from these honorable members, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Simuzingile from Gwembe asks, when the irrigation scheme in Chaboboma area in Gwembe district will be completed and operationalized? Madam Speaker, the Chaboboma irrigation scheme in Gwembe will be completed and operationalized once the ministry mobilizes more finances for the remaining civil works. As the honorable member is aware, the works have commenced, but we are hopeful that come next year, we'll move a little bit further with the program. On 2, Madam Speaker, the honorable member is asking what the cause of the delay in completing the project is. As indicated, it was lack of funds that delayed the completion of the irrigation scheme. See, Madam Speaker, what the total cost of the project is. The estimated cost of the scheme, Madam Speaker, is $1,242,000 US. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. For those honorable members who want to consult, please can you do so quietly? Or maybe take a step outside to consult and then come back. The honorable members are now free to ask supplementary questions on the answer that has been provided by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. The Honorable Member for Gwembe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, thank you very much for that elaborate answer. And the people of Gwembe all appreciate. Honorable Minister, we are so happy with that answer because when you look at the areas like Gwembe, perpetual floods, perpetual drought, perpetual hunger. Now, with this specific answer, Honorable Minister, that come next year, that irrigation scheme will be operationalized. We thank you for that.
Order. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The people of Nyimba also are sending greetings to you and the entire House. Honorable Minister of Agriculture, looking at this project, it's a very viable project, and I think I'll agree with my colleague there that Gwembe is one of the most drought-affected areas in this country. Honorable Minister, you agree with me that even where I come from, Nyimba is just as like Gwembe in some areas. They are so, I mean, we are affected uh, each year, and we have droughts. I think in a good, maybe it's like this year we have rains, the next year we don't have rains. It's perpetual drought, should I say? Do you have any plans to implement the same project you've started implementing in Gwembe? It's not only Gwembe, there is even Sinazongwe down there. You take that whole stretch of the valley from Gwembe up to Mochinga. Do you have any plans of seeing that some areas, maybe we can start doing that? Because this is where we have water bodies which we are not utilizing. Thank you.
The question was specific to Gwembe, specific project. So if the honorable member for Nyimba wants to ask a question on those lines, so that we don't take the honorable minister of agriculture by surprise, please, honorable member for Nyimba, you can put in a question. Next question, the honorable member for Mapatizia. Oh, sorry, I've skipped. The next question, honorable member from Mpika.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The people of Mpika, in whose name I act, ask question number 3.
The acting leader of government business.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Kapianga, not Kampianga, but Kampianga, is asking the Vice President the following question. A, whether the government will provide relief food as a matter of urgency to the people of Chief Nawaria's area in Mpika district who are threatened with hunger. And B, what long-term measures the government will take for the Nawaria area, which is in perennial need of relief food, as their crops are always destroyed by wild animals from the Luangwa North National Park. The following is the response. Madam Speaker, the Disaster and Mitigation Unit pre-positioned, I'm just giving a background to this one, pre-positioned 200 metric tons of maize for the people of Nawaria, Mpika district in October 2021. This followed an assessment of the food needs for the area for the period September 2021 to March 2022. A project implementation partner, PIP, was engaged in November 2021 to distribute the maize to the vulnerable households in Nawaria on behalf of the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU. Further, the project implementing partner distributed the maize to the vulnerable households in Nawaria. This is what happened. Madam Speaker, the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit this year conducted an in-depth vulnerability and needs assessment countrywide. This also included Nawaria, which stresses across Mpika and Lavushmanda districts, and the extent of the food insecurity in the area has been determined, and the relief pipeline for the needs in Nawaria has also been ascertained. Consequently, to their assessment, food insecure households in Chief Nabwalia's area will benefit from the relief pipeline earmarked for the year 2022 and 2023 in Lavush Manda district. B, Madam Speaker, as the long-term solution to crops being damaged by animals since people are settled in the game management areas, the government is exploring different options using a multi-sectoral approach involving, among others, ministries responsible for tourism, lands and natural resources, green economy and environment, my office, disaster management and mitigation unit, and the resettlement department. This also includes the cooperating partners. One measure in this regard will involve community sensitization regarding the human-animal conflict. I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions, if any, by honorable members? The honorable member from Pika, do you have any supplementary question?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for that response. Madam Speaker, right now, the people of Nabwalia are suffering. They are starving. May I find out from the Honorable Minister, when, as in when, will government distribute relief food to avert the hunger crisis which is already there in Chifu Nabwali? Thank you.
The honorable leader of government business.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much, honorable member, for that pertinent question. I must say relief distribution will begin in September 2022 after the national focus is released this week. So we are expecting the national focus this week, and as soon as that is done, we shall know the figures that will be required, and before the end of September this month, we should be able to be up and running and to ensure that our people in Nabwalia are well catered for and they do not die out of hunger. I thank you.
Thank you. Next question, the honorable member for Mapatizia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I bring greetings from the good people of Mapatizia. Question number 4.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you to the honorable member from Mapatizia who has asked the Minister of Health, A, whether the government has any plans to construct a district hospital in Zimba district, B, if so, when the plans will be implemented, C, what the estimated cost of the project is, and D, what the estimated time frame for the completion of the project is. Madam Speaker, in response, the Minister responds as follows. In A, government in the 2022 Ministry of Health budget is focusing on completing the 36 district hospitals that are at various levels of construction. Therefore, construction of district hospitals in districts that do not have public first-level hospitals, such as Zimba district, will only be considered after completion of the 36 district hospitals countrywide. The construction of district hospitals will be done in order to address the challenges of inadequate and inequitable distribution of health facilities across the country. Madam Speaker, the House may wish to note that Zimba district is currently served with Zimba Mission Hospital, which is a faith-based facility. By government categorization, this is a first-level hospital. The House may also wish to note that the government supports faith-based health facilities countrywide through the provision of human resource grants and medicines and medical supplies. B, Madam Speaker, the plans will be implemented after the completion of the 36 district hospitals as above. And C, Madam Speaker, the estimated cost of the project will only be known upon award of the project to the responsive bidders. D, Madam Speaker, the estimated time frame will also be known upon award of the project to the responsive bidders at a time. I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions, if any, by honorable members? The honorable member for Mapatisia, do you have any?
Yes, Madam Speaker, not necessarily supplementary question, but I just want to stress the need of a district hospital in Mapatisia. Mapatisia is in dire need of a district hospital. The hospital being talked about, the Zimba hospital, is a mission hospital, and mostly we don't get all the facilities and all the needed machinery there. Most of the cases are referred to Livingstone, and many lives have been lost, Madam Speaker, because of the distance covered. Mapatisia stretches from Zimba to the Zambezi River, a stretch of about 200 kilometers of bad roads, which has been neglected by the past government, considering the fact that there is a mine there, which is
order, honorable member.
Which is
order, honorable member. It's not time for debate. It's supplementary questions. I'm sure you can make those representations to the minister when you meet next. The honorable member for Mufurira.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity for the people of Mufurira to take part in this question. Madam Speaker, I got interested when the minister has responded that government this year is focusing on completing the 36 district hospitals. And in Mufurira, Madam Speaker, we actually have a stored project for a district hospital. The last time an answer was given on the floor of this House, it was estimated to be at 65% complete. And during the recess, I was in Mufurira and I did not see any works going on. So my question, Madam Speaker, is that the 36 hospitals that the minister has given in her response, are the funds already available and are the works going on? And is Mufurira District Hospital, which has stored among the 36 district hospitals that the minister has talked about in her response? I thank you.
I will allow the question only because the minister referred to the 36 hospitals. The Honorable Acting Minister of Health.
Madam Speaker, this information can be sought directly from the ministry as to who are the or where these particular hospitals are being constructed. What I'm aware about in this particular case is that amongst these facilities is a mini hospital at Nyawa under the UK-funded project consisting of 115 mini hospitals and 5 district hospitals. So any other specific information can be sought from the ministry as submitted.
Thank you. We can make progress. There are no other supplementary questions. Next question, the Honorable Member for Chembe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and welcome honorable members. Question number 5.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Youth, Sports and Art.
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member asks the Minister for Youth, Sport and Arts whether the government has any plans to construct sports development centers in all districts countrywide. B, if so, when the plans will be implemented. And C, if there are no such plans, why? Madam Speaker, on A, the Honorable Member may wish to note that it is the desire of the government through the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Arts to construct and establish sports development centers in all districts countrywide. And this, Madam Speaker, is enshrined in the implementation framework of the 8th National Development Plan. On B, Madam Speaker, plans to construct sports development centers in all districts will be implemented as soon as funds are made available. In this regard, the Honourable Member of Parliament may wish to note that the Ministry is also engaging cooperating partners in order to mobilize alternative sources of funding for infrastructure development, which includes sports and development centers. Madam Speaker, on C, as indicated, plans are already there and they will be implemented accordingly. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary questions, if any, by honorable members? Honorable Member for Chembe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, you are aware that sport is also a skill. And of course, some of our youths are not willing, they cannot be willing to take up the path of the technical skills that are falling under CDF. Are you in a position, therefore, to come to this House and give us the list of those centers or those districts that you are going to construct these centers from? Because it is not every youth who is taking up technical skills. Others, they would rather go for sport. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Youth.
Madam Speaker, I think the suggestion from the Honourable Member is that a list should be brought in due course to indicate which areas. Yes, I think that will be done, but for today, I would be happy to let you know that there are 4 areas already where there is extensive work going on, repairing, renovating, and fixing these sports centers. For example, the Kenneth Kaunda Stadium in Chipata is being worked on. Kaola Stadium in Mansa, which is of high interest to you, is being worked on. Independence Stadium in Solwezi is being worked on. And Madam Speaker, Kasama Stadium in Kasama are being worked on at a cost of not less than $300,000 per stadium. And these will be completed by the end of the year. So yes, Madam Speaker, we will deliver the information so required by the Honourable Member for Chamber. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Wacha, do you have any supplementary question? Please, let's pay attention to what we are doing. Let's not chat. The Honorable Member for Chenge.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And thank you, Honorable Minister, for the answers that you're giving to this House and the Zambians. Recreation centers are very, very important. When we were growing up, we even used to call them hall of fairs Now, I just want to find out, if you talk about Mansa or provincial centers only to be developed or renovated, what about people who are, for example, in Chiengi? Don't they need also recreation centers? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Youth, Sports and Arts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Member. My answer in A was very clear that there will be centers developed, constructed in all the districts. The 4 I was giving were mere examples to show how serious the ministry is in the endeavor. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Lubaseshe.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and greetings from the good people of Lubansesh constituency, Luwing district. Honorable Minister, I followed you very well, where you acknowledge that the government has plans to construct these sports facilities across the country and province by province or district by province. And further, you talked about the budget lines that when funds are available. Are you able to tell to this honorable house and indeed the good people of Rubansench constituency, how much is it going to cost to construct these sports facilities? Then secondly, are you able also to tell when you are going to construct? Is it this year, 2022 or 2023? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Youth, Sports and Arts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would request that the Honourable Member allows that information is brought together with the information which the Honourable Member for Chembe asked, because there's a list which has been demanded by the Honourable Member of Chembe that can we know in which district and when this will be done. So what we'll do is to add another column for the cost. It would not be possible for me to give it offhand because I do not know exactly the plans of what type of stadia or recreation facility will be developed by each district. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Bahati.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Minister, for your responses. Minister, I am one of the beneficiaries, or we, the people of Bahati, are the beneficiaries for the renovations at Kaole Stadium, thanks to FIFA through FAS, because I'm aware that the project is funded by FIFA. Now, Minister, I want you to inform this House and the nation. The other 4 stadiums that you mentioned, are they funded by government or by FIFA? And Madam Speaker, through you, Minister, the contractor at Kaole is not at site. When is he back? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Acting Minister of Sport, Youth, Sport and Arts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I'll have the liberty to answer one question as per procedure, and I will choose to indicate that the funding for these 4 areas which are being fixed on is through FIFA on an MOU with FAS. I thank you.
Thank you. Next question, the Honorable Member for Nyemba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 6.
The Honorable Minister of Justice.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honorable Member for Nyimba asks the following questions. A, when the construction of the following local courts in Nyimba district will be completed? 1, Katipa, and 2, Nyimba. B, what the cause of the delay in completing the project is? C, what the name of the contractor is? And D, what the time frame for completion of the project is. Madam Speaker, we respond as follows. Madam Speaker, I wish to inform the House A1. The construction of Nyimba Local Court will be completed towards the end of this year, 2022. Currently, the assessment of the remaining works has been completed and the process is at tendering stage. Funds are available for the completion of the remaining works. A2, the construction of Katipa Local Court will commence once the process of physical assessment, preparation of drawings, and bills of quantities and tendering processes are complete. B, the cause of delay in completing the projects was due to the intermittent funding from the Treasury from 2015 to 2021. However, funds are now available and there will be no delay going forward. C, the name of the contractor for the local court is Sazam Contractors Limited. D, the time frame for completion of the project is 16 weeks. That is to say, 4 months. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions. The Honorable Member for Wacha.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you so much, Minister, for the responses. Minister, I just want to find out if the gesture of completing local courts, especially those which are above 80%, I have in mind Chiridalila, a local court in Makululu. If the gesture, like in Nyimba, will be extended to the infrastructure, court infrastructure, which is above 80%, like the one that I've cited. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The question relates to Nyimba district. There is Katipa, Nyimba. I'm sure that question which the Honorable Member is asking about gestures that are being extended will be taking the Minister by surprise. Maybe you can put in a question. The money is available for Kapita and Nyimba. Next question, the Honorable Member for Chembe.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister of Justice, you are aware that police works in tandem with the courts. Do you have any plans, especially to do construction of subordinate courts at the newly created district to avoid officers transporting suspect 200 kilometers to the bombers, like the way it is in Chembe? If a suspect runs away, the officer is charged for aiding a prisoner to escape. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
We are expanding the question. We are bringing in Chembe, subordinate courts. The question relates to local courts in Katipa and Nyimba. So if the Honorable Member for Chembe wants to ask specifically on subordinate courts in Chembe, he should put in a specific question. The Honorable Member for Lumezi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister of Justice, you've told this House that the works should be completed by December. Honorable Minister, in Nyimba, we were told in the previous session that the hospital will be completed by June 2022. Unfortunately, no contractor is on site. Are we seeing the same happening on the local courts? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Sorry, I missed the question. May the Honorable Member repeat? I was sorry.
Madam Speaker, I was making reference to the Nyimba hospital that were assured that will be completed in June of 2022. Unfortunately, no contractor is on site. And today again, we've been told that the local court will be completed by December. So my question to the Honorable Minister of Justice is that, are we seeing the same happening, that we are told December the local court will be completed, when in reality there will be no works done? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Justice.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, quite evidently, I cannot speak on behalf of the Ministry of Health in terms of whether or not the hospital facility was completed. But that being said, Madam Speaker, if the honorable member was listening very closely as I responded to the question, the fact as it is that a contractor by the name of SAZAM has been identified. And so that should put any concerns by the honorable member to rest. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, permit me to say this. The Minister of Justice is a state counsel now, and he understands how difficult it is to operate in areas where there's no court. Basically, this is a district, Madam Speaker, which has got no single court. And it's sad, yes, it has come in the office, but it's a year now. Yes, thank you so much for assuring the people of Nyimba that by December or so, the court will be completed. But my simple question, Honorable Minister, their contract has been identified, money is available. When do we see the contractor moving on site? Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Justice.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Indeed, access to justice is a critical aspect of every human life. And that is why, as New Dawn government, a situation that has been pending from 2015 and 2014 respectively to date has now been addressed. That's how seriously we take these matters. In the same light, the question, the answers to the question as put forward are clear, that the contractor will move on site as soon as assessment and tendering processes and the rest are completed. So it is a matter of practicality, and especially that the money is available, it won't be too late. And certainly, the honorable member will note that a timeline has been given to completion, which is by December. Therefore, everything will occur within the intervening period. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Nakonde.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in an event that these courts are not complete by December, what is it that you are going to do to the ministry? Thank you very much.
The question is speculative, so it's not admitted. We make progress. Next question, the Honorable Member for Chipili.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Question number 7. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam, thank you very much. Mr. Chala, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Chipili, is asking the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development questions at A, why the rehabilitation of the road from Shimba village to Chikubi in Chipili parliamentary constituency has stalled. At B, when the project will resume. At C, who the contractor is. And at D, how much money was paid to the contractor as of March 2022. Our response to the Honorable Member of Parliament is as follows, that at A, the progress on the rehabilitation of the road from Mushimba village to Chikubi in Chipili constituency has stalled due to lack of funds. And the contractor is awaiting for payment for works that have already been certified. At B, the project will resume as soon as government secures funds for the financing of the remaining work, scope of work. At C, the name of the contractor on this project is Transley Enterprises Limited. And at D, a total sum of 3.423,141.56 million kwacha have been paid to Translay Limited, Enterprises Limited, I beg your pardon, as at 20th March 2022. Madam, I thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary questions? The Honorable Member for Kafue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I've listened to the Minister's response with interest because I would want to relate, this situation to also our roads in Kafue. But the question is, since the Minister is saying there's no money to pay the contractor, is it permissible to allow any other well-wisher that can work on such a road as in this village, just to, improve the situation, seeing that the rain season is also coming, but bearing in mind that this road would have been under contract. So is it permissible, for stakeholders that are concerned, maybe, as to whether they can come in to try and do something on a contracted road? I thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Minister can indicate whether it's permissible in relation to the question that has been asked.
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Kafue brings in an issue of kindness, that if someone is willing to assist, my assumption is that they'll be doing this at no cost, and therefore there will be no problem whatsoever as long as there's no cost to government. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chipili.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think permit me to ask two questions.
Honorable Member for Chipili, you have two questions that you can ask. So you can ask one.
Thank you.
You can even ask the two questions together.
Thank you. I think the first question is, according to the response that I've got, it's when the money is going to be available. Now the question is, when is the money going to be available? That's one. Then two, I want you to give me the exact words that I should go and tell my people, your people in Ichipili, that the Minister of Local Government on this road, this is the message. I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker, for allowing me to answer a question from the colleague from Chipili. At A, the exact date when money is going to be available to repair this road. Madam Speaker, the exact day when the money will be available to repair this road would depend on that particular activity being factored into the budget, whether it's this year coming or next year. Let me just expand a little bit on this particular point so that I make it easy for understanding. I wear a jacket size 56. And so if you bring me a jacket size 42, I certainly won't wear it. It won't fit. What was happening before, Madam Speaker, is something that we've explained here on the floor of this House over and over and over again. That we are not printing no money, we are not borrowing any money. The previous administration stretched and over-committed contracts without taking due consideration on what this parliament had appropriated for in the last 5 years. Until we correct the malaise that is associated with the debt that has been left by this previous government for these particular contractors, I'm afraid we are not going to use magic to settle these debts. We have to budget for payment of these obligations. And that is not to say we are turning the back on these obligations. Where work was done, they must be paid. But don't be mindful, Honorable Madam Speaker, that there are many cases where money was paid and no work was done. So we are going systematically to bring those who got money, which money should have completed that road in Chipili and never worked, so that they can account for what they were doing in the past. Secondly, what exact words is my colleague, the MP, going to tell the people in Chipili? Kindly refer to my answer in the first instance. What I just said is what you go and tell my good people in Chipili. I thank you most earnestly.
Thank you very much. I hope the Honorable Member for Chipili has gotten the message. The Honorable Member for Lumezi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Minister, let me say that I love your confession that some people were paid and never did the works. Honorable Minister, you've been consistent saying people were paid and never did the works, and we've not seen any of those people being named and shame them. The people of Lumezi, Honorable Minister, wish to know that this contractor that you have mentioned, is he a cadre as well? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Madam Speaker, let me thank the honorable colleague from Lumezi for a question that I desired to hear all this long. Yes, we have said that. We are a decent group of people, and it is very clear that we are dealing with all these people, some of them cadres, who got money without giving the collaborating service to government. Others are not cadres and they're businessmen, genuine businessmen. Last year, Madam Speaker, I reported to this House that we had engaged a company pro bono called Zulu Barrow because they have the expertise on assessment of the quality and quantity of work that had been done or alleged to have been done on these roads. A comprehensive report has been given to my office. We have since handed over this file to the Attorney General's office to get expert advice. And part of what we are seeking, Honorable Member of Parliament for Lumezi, from the Auditor General, is to terminate forthright all the contracts that underperformed, not to renew all those contracts that have since expired, because what we find in nearly all the ministries today is that procurement was being done void of Treasury authority. And because it was being done void of Treasury authority, it becomes an offense, not only to the regulation, but also to the Appropriation Act, to spend money that has not been authorized by the Treasury. So, give us a bit of time. You will hear their names when that time comes. Whether they are cadres or not, Madam Speaker, it may be premature for me to start saying, yes, this contractor is a cadre, because I only know him at this point and this juncture by their trading name. I don't know the person inside this corporate. And so, as and when we are done with the company search to see who the directors are, with a view to remove the corporate veil and do the necessary, I'm afraid, brother and friend, I cannot, and I do not know whether this person is a cadre or not. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Nyimba.
Madam Speaker, I I sympathize with the Minister of Local Government, and it pains me, my heart bleeds, Madam Speaker, that some of us, we come from rural areas, and when he speaks, sometimes you think he's joking, or maybe it's petty, or he's trying to be political. For me, I understand, Madam Speaker. And I'm raising to ask this question. In fact, it might be not even a question. It's just to advise him that in his answering said, we may cancel the contracts which have expired. Can you please just cancel them, those which have been expired? Because the thing which is in my constituents today, those contractors who came, and you even reported that Eastern Province had this because those were bogus contractors. And that pains me for you to start even using the word, we may cancel them. What are you waiting for? Can you cancel this contractor so that you can have proper people to do the roads? Because some of the roads have been earmarked by your ministry that have been worked on when there is nothing because of this bogus setup. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Since it wasn't a question, it was a comment, unless if the Honorable Minister wants to respond.
I just want to, Madam, urge the honorable member not to feel sorry for me, because I'm not looking for sympathy out here. But I take his kind words, his forthrightness, to make sure that we do the right thing. We have a duty to be cordial. It is in our DNA to be polite and cordial. The Attorney General is the lawyer for the government. I am not a lawyer. And therefore, it is only prudent that every step of the way, as we go towards winding up these contracts, we are walking on firm ground, that there's no backlash. Remember, even the delays of these so-called, using your own words, bogus contracts, they also attract interest on default to payment. And because these same people, it's just that at this point, they haven't got the courage yet to even face the office, my office, some of them. At one point, if we had a weak leadership, they would have come to look for their interest on default of payment. Now, we want to make sure that we clean up the back as we forge ahead to the front. We shall soon get there. Just wish us well. Don't feel sorry for us. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chama South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Minister, for your responses. Indeed, Honorable Minister, the situation in Chama South is no different. About 3 contractors, Madam Speaker. We have a contractor from Chama, Chikwa, Mapamba. We also have a contractor from Chifunda, Emusa, Chikwa, Emusa. I was shocked when you disclosed the amount of money which was paid to one of the contractors. But if you go on the ground, you not see anything. These are things that we should do. We should admit that they were done wrongly and you need to correct them. Now, my question is, you've indicated that you are considering cancellation of these contracts, and yet the people need those services to be provided on the ground. Are you assuring the people that when you cancel these contracts, you are going to retender so that you take the right contractors on the ground to do these works like the ones that I've just mentioned? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development.
Thank you very much, and also to thank the honorable member for the display of a bit of patience on the way we are doing things. Honorable member, you may be interested to know that ever since we took office last year, we embarked on a 10-year road development program, our own. So let me settle your anxieties on the non-renewal and the cancellation of those contracts that have not performed. I'm quite certain you will be laughing very soon because we are not just about to abandon these roads where our people connect from one place to another. We are fully aware, and as a demonstration of that, Madam Speaker, my ministry just a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact, under 1 week, if you ask the MP for Chama North, and there are a few others, MP for Lundazi, they've been to my office to present their critical requirement. As the Minister of Finance earlier said, as soon as we settled down, that those who have critical areas in crossing points that are almost disconnecting people, please submit your BOQs. And I'm glad to tell you that we have since funded these particular roads to a tune of, in certain instances, over 6 million kwacha to attend to one constituency. So we are very, very mindful. My encouragement to you is, as the President of the Republic of Zambia said last Friday, let us work together, especially on this matter where we all know that somebody was defrauding the system. We can be good together going forward. So bring your problems through. Let's be candid with one another. Encourage those people who you may know, because most of them are from your party. Just to be clear, in my head, in fact, all of them who have not performed are those who, at one point or another, it never existed in their heads that PF would be out of office. They were doing things with impunity. And so let us separate politics from things that affect our people so that we can together win and not simply point fingers at each other. And I'm very grateful for your comment on this, our partisan affair. Thank you very much, Honorable Member of Chama South.
Thank you. So the message is, please, let's engage. Let's see what needs to be done and work together for the betterment of the people of Zambia. Notice of motion. The Honorable Member for Kabwe Central.
Madam Speaker, may I beg to move that the thanks of this assembly be recorded for the expulsion of public police contained in the President's address.
Is the motion seconded? Seconded by the Honorable Member for Nkana. The question is that the thanks of this assembly be recorded for the exposition of public policy contained in the President's address. Any debate? The Honorable Member for Kabwe Central.
Madam Speaker, let me begin by expressing my profound gratitude to you for granting me this opportunity to move the motion of thanks to address by the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, on the occasion of the official opening of the second session of the 13th National Assembly on Friday, 9th September 2022. Madam Speaker, at the outset, I would like to congratulate the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, on the delivering of a well-thought-out speech premised on the theme, working together towards socio-economic transformation, stimulating economic growth for improved livelihood. The speech did not only highlight the success that have been achieved by the New Dawn administration in its first year in government, but also outlined the socio-economic agenda that will be pursued in the coming year. Further, the President's speech was anchored on the 4 strategic development areas of the 8th National Development Plan, namely economic transformation and job creation, human and social development, environmental sustainability, and good governance environment. Madam Speaker, allow me now to briefly comment on the resilient issues raised in the President's speech. As I do so, I would like to commend the President and his administration for bringing our country back on track with a projected average growth rate of 4% in the middle term. Indeed, this is a sign that better things are about to come under the leadership of the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Madam Speaker, on economic transformation and job creation, it was clear from the President's speech that his administration has identified 4 key sectors that would drive the transformation of our country's economy. These are agriculture, mining, manufacturing, and tourism, to show that his government is determined to unlock the various economic opportunities across the sector. The President announced several measures aimed at providing, 1, an enabling and conducive environment for the sectors to thrive through the delivery of requisite policies, regulations, and infrastructure, support services, and enhance production, productivity, and value addition, especially in the agriculture sector. We need to have agriculture hubs in all the 10 provinces, yes, very important. Local, regional, and international markets for the various products and services emanating from the sectors. The President emphasized that the economic transformation agenda will be led by the private sector. Therefore, I urge my fellow Zambians to take advantage of the good business environment to participate and benefit fully from the economic activities. Madam Speaker, I now turn to human and social development. It is a well-known fact that the most important resource of any country is its people. Being cognizant of this, the President informed the House that his administration has placed human and social development as one of the strategic development areas in the 8th National Development Plan, and the government has introduced free education in public schools from early childhood to secondary school, so that more of our children who were previously unable to attend school can now be given an opportunity to do so. Further, to ensure quality education, government had recruited and deployed over 30,000 teachers to various schools across the country, a move meant to significantly improve the teacher-pupil ratio as well as education and also education outcomes. In addition, to ensure that no school-going children sits on the floor by the end of 2023, the government has embarked on the ambitious exercise to leverage the Consumer Development Fund, CDF, to locally source desks for schools. To mitigate the challenge of high youth unemployment, government was implementing various youth skills development programs such as metal fabrication, carpentry, joinery, mining, bricklaying, and general agriculture. Madam Speaker, the President's pronouncement that his administration will implement a policy of allocating 50% of all available land to women cannot go without recommendation. from me as a woman. To help implement this pronouncement across all districts in the country, I would like to urge the government to put into operation the Gender Equity and Equality Commission as provided for in Article 231 of our Constitution. Madam Speaker, on good governance environment, I will be failing in my duties if I do not commend the government for placing the fight against corruption at the center of its administration. The President deserves commendation over moving quickly to establish the Economic and Financial Crimes Court so as to speed up and freely dispose of economic and financial crimes cases. The President is also commended for reviving regulations and procedures around public procurement, among others, so as to protect public resources. Madam Speaker, at this juncture, allow me to comment on the intention to abolish the death penalty. We as a country have come a long way in wanting to ensure that we reflect our character as a Christian nation in our laws and policies. We made progress when we put in the preamble of our constitution that Zambia shall be a Christian nation. We now need to deal with the death penalty, which is not only inimical to our Christian values, but is also against international human rights laws. The President has demonstrated political will by announcing his administration intention to abolish the death penalty. I therefore call upon the House to support the President's legislative reform agenda. Madam Speaker, I cannot end my debate without mentioning our government's success in securing the International Monetary Fund, IMF, extended credit facility. This, as was indicated by the President, will go a long way in helping with restructuring our country's debt, stabilizing the economy, and freeing resources to support social sectors such as health, education, water, and sanitation. Madam Speaker, as I conclude my debate, allow me to make an appeal to all honorable members that as we begin to debate the speech, let us be sober and also be objective in all our debates. With these remarks, I beg to move, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much.
Does the seconder wish to speak now or later? Any other debate? I thought the honorable member said you want to debate later. Oh, now, okay, sorry, I didn't hear that.
Thank you.
The honorable member from Kana.
It was a Chasefu MP trying to disturb me, Madam Speaker.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, I wish to thank you for giving me this opportunity to second this motion that has been moved by my counterpart from Kabwe. The motion of thanks in relation to a speech that was delivered to this August House by His Excellency the President on the official opening of Parliament last Friday. As I go into my submission, Madam Speaker, permit me to start by appreciating the New Dawn government, particularly His Excellency the President, through the Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, Honorable Charles Milupi, and I want to apologize to Honorable Charles Milupi for having been a thorn in his flesh regarding the issue of Chiburuma Road. Madam Speaker, I wish to report to this August House that yesterday there was an announcement that RDA has solicited for bids to design and construct a rigid pavement for the 7-kilometer Chiburuma Road. I just want to press it on record and appeal to the minister that we have capable contractors in Kitwe who can do that road. We do not expect that you have to bring foreign contractors. And the other appeal to the minister is that we must sit down as local participants to ensure that we help guide the design of this particular stretch. Therefore, Madam Speaker, you will hear very little noise from me regarding this stretch. I will now shift my attention to the Minister of Water, because water remains the biggest challenge in Kitwe, and it is hoped that government will now address that particular predicament for our people in Kitwe. Madam Speaker, let me quickly address myself to issues that I took note of in the speech that was delivered by His Excellency, and I'll start with the economy. Madam Speaker, it is very gratifying to note that government is pursuing the restructuring, or rather reconstruction of our economy, and very key, economic fundamentals that we may address ourselves to, that are very key in us seeing to it that perhaps we are trying to raise from the economic doldrums. Number one, Madam Speaker, of the economic fundamentals I want to note is the performance of our currency. It is not arguable, Madam Speaker, that our currency has continued to perform very well against major convertibles. And it's not arguable, Madam Speaker, for a very long time, our friends in South Africa, the rand has to kneel down to beg the kwacha for the first time in a very long time. I think that, Madam Speaker, Zambia being an import-oriented country, our people stands to benefit from the performance of our kwacha. Secondly, from the economic, macroeconomic fundamentals, I take note of the strides made to bring the inflation down to a single digit, as well as growing our foreign reserve to acceptable, percentages to 3.8 of import cover, which is obviously sufficient for us to be able to deal with any external shocks. Madam Speaker, I did take note of the commitment of government through the President's speech of the desire of government to create a conducive environment for investment. I did take particular note of what is happening in the Northwestern, particularly the investment in the Nico project in Kalumbira, as well as the prolonged life in Kansanshi. That is key, Madam Speaker, in creating sustainable jobs for our people, because one of our biggest problems in Zambia is dealing with issues of job creation. The only emphasis I would like to press on government, there was a very subtle mention of government's desire to unlock the problem at KCM and Mopani. I would like to hope now that the Minister of Mines, I hope he was around, should now come to this August House and give an amplified version of what government is doing in the near term to address that problem. Because, Madam Speaker, there's destitution on the copper belt because of the challenges at KCM and Mopani. The energy sector gives us a lot of delight, Madam Speaker, because not long ago we were burning ourselves with candles, but now we are afloat in terms of our sufficiency in the generation of power. Now, the gratifying point, Madam Speaker, is to note that we remain geographically capable to supply the regions with our power now. And it is worth noting that government is looking to the East African market, away from our traditional export market for power, which is our neighboring countries as well as South Africa. I'm further delighted to note that government is considering to tap into the huge water reserves in Luapula. I come from Luapula, and I cry to see how our water reserves in Luapula is going to waste. One would have thought that government must now be going to Luapula, which is very least affected by droughts. With our experience, we saw not long ago when on the south part, because of droughts, we could not produce enough power. Luapula remains our perfect destination in as far as tapping into the potential we have in generating enough hydropower. Madam Speaker, on governance issues, I take note of government's resolve to fight graft. Corruption remains one of the biggest impediments to giving our people the much needed development. Now, my appeal to law enforcement agencies is that corruption must be fought back and forth. There must not be any sacred cow in the pursuit to fight this graft. So cases that happened in the past must be fought vigorously and culprits brought to book, And cases that are happening now must equally be fought aggressively so as to send a signal that anyone who engages in illicit activities as far as defrauding our people of the revenue needed to develop our communities must be dealt with by the law. Madam Speaker, let me quickly mention, regarding CDF. CDF is a commitment shown so far by government to ensure that we move resources from central government to our people in the communities. And I, in particular, have said from the onset, from the first time the pronouncement was made, that it is a good step in as far as making the people responsible for their own developmental destiny. The challenge still remains, and I want to place it on record, that the Minister of Finance, as well as the Minister of Local Government, must be proactive to make this a reality. Timely disbursement is expected from the Ministry of Finance, as well as addressing all these gray areas around the effective implementation of CDF is equally expected. Madam Speaker, let me end by also making a call to government. The public has been mentioning that there's need for us to reform the pension system in this country. People have died without accessing their pensions. It is hoped that we must reform our pension systems in this country so that an individual who works so hard must be able to access funds, possibly 5 years, in 5 years interval, so that they can make investments. Because when people have access to these long-saving contributions, they can invest and create the much-needed jobs for our people in the communities. Madam Speaker, thank you for having given me this opportunity. I submit.
If any further debate, the Honourable Member for Chilubi.
Madam Speaker, the people of Chilubi would like to start by talking on the theme. As the President said, the theme is tallied with the the 8th National Development Plan theme. I think those that have taken time to read is that they are almost just twin themes, which is a very good thing because it has to match together. But a lot of issues, Madam Speaker, people of Chilubi would like to indicate from onset that the President's speech has not matched with a lot of things that are under the 4 pillars in the 8th National Development Plan theme. The people of Chilubi will demonstrate as they go ahead within the 8 minutes. Madam Speaker, the President used the word subdue the inflation from 25.6% in August 2021 to the single digit of 9.8%. The people of Chilubi would like to believe, contrary to what has been floated, that there are no economic fundamentals that has contributed to this particular. That's why even the President was very careful by mentioning the word subdue. Because when you subdue, it means that it's not a natural process that you have engaged. What I mean by the economic fundamentals, I also want to submit that the 3.7 months of export cover is also artificial, in that currently when we talk about balance of payments and many other factors, including what we are exporting as a country, things still remain the same. And we have just been surviving from the punches of COVID-19. So the people of Chilubi would like to submit that this is more of an artificial situation than real. The people of Chilubi, Madam Speaker, would like to address the issue of agriculture. I can address numbers without problems. Yeah, they would like to address the issue of agriculture. When we talk about what was submitted earlier, about through the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Agriculture did inform this House that there is need, that they are just going to provide 6 bags per farmer.
The people of Chulubi are worried that currently they are skyrocketing prices of edible oils in the country. And the 6 bags from the demonstration of crop diversifications are not contributing to growing crops that reduce the pressure on the imports that we have. And this particular score will not help us to grow agriculture in the diverse that the president envisages. The people of Chulubi would like also to mention that in the 8th National Development Plan, this is one of the key reforms that the government intends to use to arrest the shocks of the economy. But it was not addressed in especially that it should also contribute to the diversification of crops. Madam Speaker, on page 11 of the speech, the president mentioned a range of agriculture products. He started talking about us attaining the status where we can import some of the raw materials, agricultural raw materials, to other countries, including the European market. But the president, in the same breath, on page 11, on page 10, talked about agriculture being the window of creating employment opportunities. The people of Chulubi have found it a very big problem to see how employment can be created in the absence of issues of value addition, in this case, as it may be. Because when you talk about the whole speech, there was no mention of strong, standing on value addition, but there was mention of exporting raw materials to other countries, which includes China and many other, countries. Another factor that the people of Chulubi would like to note from the presidential speech is that energy or electricity is an enabler in terms of growth of an industry. Then, when we talk about this, we are talking about primary or secondary industry. The president.
Order, Honorable Member for Chulubi. Honorable Member for Chulubi, there is a point of order. Chulubi, sorry.
I'm sorry,
The
Madam
Honorable
Speaker.
Minister of Local Government.
I'm standing on point, order number 58. 58-4. I have observed from the moment the Honorable Member of Parliament for Chulubi started speaking that he is reading from a text which was prepared either by himself or other people. Now, standing order, Madam Speaker, standing order 58-4, and I'll quote it, a member shall not read a speech during debate, but may make reference to notes or quote from a document. I've seen that he's continuously reading from that bulky document that he has, suggesting that somebody may have prepared the speech for him. Is he therefore in order?
That's an insult, Mr. Minister.
Is the member of parliament for Chulubi in order to read the debate when he's supposed to be just speaking? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. If the Honorable Member for Chulubi is indeed reading, is in contravention of Standing Order 58-4. Please, Honorable Member for Chulubi, avoid reading a speech. You can make reference. I've not finished, Honorable Member for Chulubi. Yes. As you debate, you can refer to copious notes, but please do not read. You may proceed.
Anyway, I can't say much about the reading, but I was referring to copious notes. I can even dump that thing. That side, I still speak. Yes. Yes. I'll dump it there. Yeah, I even remove the glasses. Yes. Madam Speaker, as I was saying, though I've been accused of having been reading the speech, I was talking about the issue of electricity as being an enabler to the economy. And I was talking about issues of primary industry as well as the secondary industry. Now I'll demonstrate that these are my notes. When we talk about what the president addressed, of course he claimed of having increased power, though we know that economy is accrual in terms of its performing. We are told that soon the tariffs would go high for industrial consumption. And to me, and people of Truvi, if the, the tariffs go high for industrial consumption, it means that the products that we'll be buying, that will be coming from different industries, is going to be of higher prices. And I don't think that that will contribute to economic growth. Having said that, Madam Speaker, I also want to address what was written on page 25. Yes, it's referral, come on. And no one is going to stop me doing this. You all do this.
Order, order, honorable members, order. Let's allow the honorable member to debate.
Yeah. When we talk about the tone in which this speech was delivered, yes, the president called for unity and working together. But he had two tongues. He was talking about working together, and I counted the word shame 11 times, which he used on the opposite side, that you should be ashamed of the non-performance. Madam Speaker, the people of Truvi would also like to talk about the four pillars of the 8th National Development Plan. The way they were addressed, there was serious disjoint in the manner. I think that I cannot blame the president. It's the people that wrote that speech. Yes. Who had put the president in that kind of scenario. Where you find that...
Order, honorable member for Chilubi. I'm sure, let me just say, guide.
Yeah.
I'm sure you are familiar with our standing orders in terms of content of speech. A member, which I will quote, a member who is debating shall confine his or her debate to the subject under discussion, to ensure that the information he or she provides to the House is factual and verifiable, and two, a member who is debating shall not impute any improper motives to the president, the vice president, or any other member. So please, as you debate, ensure that you are in compliance with our standing orders. Proceed.
Madam, since morality allows me to admit when I'm wrong, if I'm wrong and I went outside the what, I apologize. When we talk about the disjointment that I was talking about, we have four pillars of the 8th National Development Plan. The way the speech was written, you find that it did not follow the pillars properly in the what. But on a lighter note, Madam Speaker, since my debate has been disrupted every now and then, I would like to say that whoever wrote the speech, next time this is an official speech. How the president ended with something that is not official. And next time we'd like to see that what is allowed in parliament is official language. Those who care to read, you read the something. That's not an English word. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Order, order. The honorable member for Chipili. Is it Ron? Honorable member for Ron.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for allowing me to add my voice on the presidential speech. Madam Speaker, allow me by beginning to identifying the theme of the presidential speech, which I quote, working together towards socio-economic transformation, stimulating economic growth for improved livelihoods. Madam Speaker, let me begin by agreeing with the new Dawn government for actually having worked on the import cover from 9.8 to the standard 3 cover period. Madam Speaker, these are good indicators for our economy. Madam Speaker, also let me turn to page 8 of the presidential speech, where it was stated in his speech that the inflation has been reduced from 25.6 to 9.8%. Madam Speaker, what are the indicators that this inflation has actually reduced? I want to believe that indeed the inflation is reducing by looking at the commodity prices of the food basket. Madam Speaker, today if you go into Pick and Pay, ShopRite, and other leading chain stores, you agree with me that the container of cooking oil, which was costing 259, today is costing 185 kwacha. Madam Speaker, it's your question, but this is what I've seen. Madam Speaker, the 10 kg sugar, 10 kg bag of sugar, which I was personally buying at 245 kwacha, today is costing 185 kwacha. Madam Speaker, as a sensible person, I cannot question this. And I believe this is leading into the right direction. However, those who are doubting my statement must go to ShopRite right now and verify. And I'm sure they will be ashamed. Madam Speaker, I am contributing. I'm contributing to this speech not out of anything, but I want to contribute as a member of Parliament for Ron constituency. Because whatever I'm saying here, Madam Speaker, will be verified by the people of Ron constituency. And I stand to represent the people of Ron constituency in a just and fair manner. I am not going to say what is not here nor there. Madam Speaker, the President in his speech on page 9 alluded to the 8th National Development Plan. And I am glad that he mentioned the 4 pillars in the 8th National Development Plan. And I want to pick on and zero in on one pillar, which is economic transformation and job creation. Madam Speaker, this is the time that we want to see jobs being created. And I want in the same vein, Madam Speaker, regardless of the question that others might ask, of course, to commend the new Dawn government for creating 30,000 employment for teachers, for creating 11,000 spaces for health workers. And yet we have heard this morning from the acting Minister of Foreign Affairs that very soon they are also creating another 3,000 job opportunities. Madam Speaker, this is what we want. We want jobs to be created. We don't want, Madam Speaker, when we hear that there is census, everyone rushes to census. I believe in olden days, these jobs as censors were reserved for people who had nothing to do. But today, Madam Speaker, because of the law that we have, even those who are degree holders are rushing to go and perform in these census jobs. So it is gratifying, Madam Speaker, that this theme under the 8th National Development Plan will critically look at this area of job creation. And I can only urge that the new Dawn government will not fail us on this one. Madam Speaker, the people of Ron constituency are grappling with a lot of unemployment levels, and I want them to benefit from this job creation. Let me zero in, Madam Speaker, now on the issue that affects me most, and this is mining. I am coming from the mining constituency, and which has been predominantly been a mining constituency for time immemorial. Madam Speaker, I'm glad my elder brother here has indicated 1935, Honorable Milupi has been worked in Russia copper mines before. Madam Speaker, the President indicated that they are going to create a conducive environment for both local and international investors. Yes, as a country, we need direct foreign investment. But I want to caution the government that and as much as we create this foreign direct investment, we must ensure that the foreigners that are coming into our country actually abide to the laws of this land. We do not want people to start coming here and then looking at the Zambian people as tools of labor. We want the labor to equate the benefits that they are getting from these mining institutions. Madam Speaker, it is gratifying that the President spoke of the 1.35 billion that has been injected into the Kansanshi Kalumbila mining. And it's also gratifying to hear the President talking about the prolonged life of Kansanshi Kalumbila for 20 years. Very, very important. Madam Speaker, I wish the President could also look at Luansha Copper Mines, which is shaft number 28. Shaft number 28, Madam Speaker, has got a lifespan to run for 35 years. We have got copper ore at this mine, which can amount to close to 30 million metric tons. And we want government to come in and also create more jobs in Ron constituents by urging and asking our investors, Luansha Copper Mines, to open shaft number 28. Madam Speaker, we shall be a happy person in Ron constituency when shaft number 28 is opened, and it will reflect to what the president is talking about in the 8th National Development Plan of creating more job opportunities. Madam Speaker, we also want to see that what is happening in my constituency, I wish and hope the Minister of Mines was here to look at the mode of mining that is being practiced in the constituency. We have so many open pit mines in the constituency. The president in his speech on one page talked of legalizing mining, and he meant by giving respect to the people that we call jelabos. This is being perpetrated, Madam Speaker, in the constituency because of the so many open pit mines that are being created by our investors. You agree with me once, when you open up an open pit, and which is 10 meters deep, the moment...
Order. As the time is 16:40 hours, I suspend business for 20 minutes for a health break.
Considered all the questions that came for oral answer under Standing Order 74. The House has also listened to an announcement that was made earlier by the Honourable Madam Speaker on the appointment of the Minister of Defence, Mr. Ambrose Lufuma, to act as leader of government business today, Tuesday 13th, and tomorrow 14th September 2021. Of course, our Honour the Vice President is attending to other government business outside the House.
All right, we'll be looking at some highlights of those details of the business, but in the meantime, we'll take a break. We'll be right back on the other side.
The government of the Republic of Zambia conducts a census on population and housing every 10 years, the last which was the fifth since 1964, being in 2010. This exercise should have been conducted in 2020, however, due to logistical and financial challenges, the census was postponed twice. To this effect, the 2022 Census of Population and Housing, which is the sixth, commenced on 18th August 2022 and is expected to be concluded on 14th September 2022. The Interim Statistician General, Mr. Mulenga Musepa, in the company of enumerators, took time to enumerate the Speaker of the National Assembly of Zambia, the Right Honourable Madam Nelly Butete Kashumba Muti, MP, at her residence. Prior to the enumeration, Mr. Musepa briefed the Honourable Madam Speaker on how the exercise is being conducted.
This is not a Zamstat's exercise. It's a government exercise. We are doing it on behalf of the President, on behalf of our government. You may want to know that a census of housing population is the largest peacetime operation. It's bigger than a war, and everyone gets involved. And therefore, we need to ensure that we are as comprehensive as we can. One of the biggest problems in terms of the census in Africa or developing world is under coverage. And when it's under coverage, it means that you do not give strong statistical data to the government for it to plan. This census is an electronic census. The first time we are doing it in the country, where we are using tablets to collect the data, and the data has to move all the way from the most remote part of the country in real time. We receive data in the mornings, lunch hour, and evening, especially from rural areas. Now, the census, of course, was launched on 17th of August, and then on 18th, by the President. On the 18th, we went to enumerate the President. We also went on to enumerate the Vice President. And we had lined up, but I think the time I got you were out. So far, we had some hitches, but I think this is part and parcel of the census. There has been a number of reports in social media, but from the operational point of view, what we look at is the data which is coming to us for us to make decisions, to intervene in areas where we're having challenges. We are working, for instance, in Lusaka, which was quite problematic. Now it has improved, working with all the councillors. I had a meeting with the mayor and the councillors last week Friday. We've engaged Zanis on the ground to scale up the publicity. We've also engaged foot soldiers in various wards just to move around. We also, with the courtesy of ZNBC, they came in last week. They provided free airtime in all the languages. So we are sending people that can speak languages and competent talk about the census to go and appear on those media platforms. I normally do quite a bit. So far, up to today, we've got about a week to go. In terms of us as the National Statistical Office to make decisions, so far, as up to today, this was about lunch hour, we've enumerated 3.9 million households. That's the whole country. And complete enumeration, 3.8. There's what we call partial, where an enumerator has to go back, perhaps certain aspects of the questionnaire not being answered. And you may want to know that what we have so far, the average household size is 4.2. And then when we are enumerating, we've got targeted number of households at national level, provincial, district, constituency, and ward level. So we look at every day, we've got what we call daily targets. There's a percentage that they have to hit every day. And so far, what we have is that number there. Okay? And we've got about 6 days to go against our target. We feel that we should be able to get it.
In her immediate reaction to the briefing, Madam Speaker Muti had this to say.
At least you are doing something, and I know even for vaccinations for COVID, you know, the people in town were very reluctant to comply.
Yes.
But I think with time, people will come to realize that without a proper census, they will not be able to benefit from the development the government is planning. So I think for you, you just keep on pushing until you reach your target. But well done so far. And by the way, once even was an enumerator myself when I was at secondary school. Can't even remember the year, but I happened to be one of the enumerators. That time there was no technology. We had to use pen and paper. Yes, and the books that we were given. But gained some experience.
Then came time for the enumerator, Miss Alice Chumanyambe, to conduct a census on Madam Speaker's household. After the enumeration exercise, Madam Speaker had this to say.
The census is the most important source of information for the country's socio-economic planning and prioritization of national development strategies. There cannot be meaningful development without evidence-based policy formulation, decision-making, and inclusive planning. This evidence will be provided in form of statistical data and indicators at all levels of governance, that is national, provincial, district, constituency, including our lowest administrative structure, which is a ward. This census is being conducted under the Statistical Act number 13 of 2018, which mandates the Zambia Statistics Agency to conduct a census for population and housing every 10 years. Let me take this opportunity to urge all members of parliament not only to be enumerated, but also to urge their constituents to participate in the census to ensure that they are enumerated. As it's only through this enumeration and census that the government will be able to know how many Zambians live in Zambia for purposes of planning. For example, now we have the CDF in constituencies. For the Member of Parliament to be able to see or to urge the government to add to the CDF, the government will need to know how many people are in that particular constituency. Without knowing the number of people, the government will not be able to plan for hospitals, they will not be able to plan for education, They will not be able to plan for drinking water. They will not be able to plan for all other socio-economic activities that the government would like to provide for its citizens. So it is very important that members of the public do come out and participate in the census. Please, let's make sure that we support the government, because this program is not only for the government, for the benefit of the government, but it's being done by the government for the benefit of the people of Zambia, so that the planning is done in a strategic manner and it reaches all Zambians in all the corners of the country.
With a few days remaining before the exercise on population and housing comes to an end on 14th September 2022, Madam Speaker called upon citizens to support the exercise.
I'm calling upon all Zambians to support our young enumerators, both young girls and young boys, so that this process of enumeration can be a success.
Basically, I'm a villager from Monze, the eastern side of Monze district. This is my second term as a member of parliament, serving the good people of Momba constituency. I'm a married man, obviously with one wife, and I have 4 children. In terms of my education, it's important. The primary school I attended at Gasaga primary school in Monze, in my constituency. And after that, I've gone to different institutions. The last one being I did an MBA. And my specialty basically has been in business management. I specialize in that. But I must mention also that I've learned quite a lot. Being a villager, as I said, whereby I remember I've gone to school. I spent the whole of my primary school, in fact, without putting on shoes until I was in grade 7. And not because my father could not afford, we had a lot of animals. But I think basically, culturally, those were things which we were not paying attention to. So I've been in this parliament. This is now my 6th year as a member of parliament. And I think history has it to that. So far, I think so good in terms of what I've done for the people of Momba constituency. So Momba constituency is purely rural constituency. Eastern side of Monze district. In fact, let me say just from the northwestern all the way to the eastern side of Monze district. My neighbors are Bwengwa constituency, Monze Central, Magoye, and Gwembe. So predominantly rural constituency. My people are mainly in agriculture. We do rear animals and farming. We play a key role in feeding Monze district and other parts of the country. In terms of the population, we should be standing around, I think, 40,000 now. As you are aware, we are going to do another census in this year, in fact, in August. So that I think will give us the good numbers. I must mention that also in terms of the geography, my constituency is peculiar in that I have 5 wards. Out of the 5 wards, 2 wards are in the valley because, as I indicated, I share the boundary with Gwembe. Gwembe predominantly is a valley, and then the other 3 districts, sorry, wards are also in a plateau setup. So, because of that kind of differentiation, even in terms of the terrain, what you need to do here and there differs quite a lot. So that is the coverage. You may be interested that immediately you leave Magoye River, uh, there about after the Magoye Bridge, all that is in my constituency. So the Great North Road coming to Lusaka from Monze, I cover part of the western side of the road, and very near, very close to Monze district, Monze town per se. We are talking about just 3 kilometers from Monze town. Then my constituency begins. But surprisingly so, you may be aware that Momba constituency is one of the smallest constituencies in Monze, in fact in southern province. It's one of the smallest, but terrain-wise is challenging to access some places. For Momba constituency, I want to look at in terms of the priorities. What are our key challenges as a constituency? First and foremost, we are looking at the availability of water, both for human beings, that is clean and safe water to drink for people, and both for the animals. And that, for me, has always been my priority. I've said it, and I want by the time maybe I hammer 2026, God willing, I should have a situation whereby almost each and every village, we have villages, should have a bore. Currently, that is not the case. We still have a lot of our mothers walking long distances in search of water. The same goes with our animals. If you come to Momba constituency, you'll find that we don't have any river, which we call them perennial rivers, which has water throughout. We don't have that. So we rely heavily on dams. And these dams are silted now. So that is our priority number one, the availability of water for our people. And also the road network is nothing to talk about. The roads are quite very, very bad. The schools also. We have quite a number of good schools, but I want also to ensure that some of the community schools we have are upgraded to government school. We don't have desks. Most of the classrooms are no desks. So I can go on and on, but these are the key challenges which is facing us. In developmental-wise, we are still a bit of backward, and now with the increment in terms of the CDF, in fact, makes me to relax a bit in terms of I will have the resources. The challenge now which I have is to work closely with the council to ensure that development is taken closer to the people. So for the members of constituency, my word always has been that we need to work as a team. If we work as silos, basically we will not achieve anything. And I'm their representative, but this is their job. Together with me, I have to match with their expectations. So my request to them, and I want to thank them. If I think the most first place, let me thank them that I've worked in an environment that which is very, very good and conducive with my people, those I do represent. And I'm hoping that this will continue even in this second term of mine to ensure that we see what we can achieve as a team. If I take a borehole there, I don't want to say I've taken a borehole there. Obviously, that could be my initiative through them. But let it be them saying this is the development we have been crying for. We have worked and we have achieved it together. So I'm asking for their usual support, as always, so that we work as a team to develop the constituency. My doors are open, just like as their doors are open. I've never gone to a place and then they shut me around. So that openness which we have will continue to enhance I think should be encouraged and should going forward. Basically, I just want to request them that we work as a team.
Continuation of debate on the motion of thanks to His Excellency the President's address, a motion that has been moved by Kawe Central Member of Parliament Ms. Chrysosta Halwindi and seconded by Yankana Member of Parliament Mr. Binwell Mpundu. At the time that business was suspended, Mr. George Weyeron Member of Parliament was on the floor of the House.
Yes, our business will continue shortly. And so far considered on the floor of the House are the 7 questions for oral answer, and there were also 2 announcements that were made on the floor of the House.
So I wait, Madam Speaker, to get back to her seat and business resumes. We'll get back to the summary of the highlights of today's business at the end of our broadcast. In the meantime, we'll take you back to the floor of the House. Await quorum to be formed, and this is when business is expected to resume. Earlier, like we earlier indicated, under consideration is a motion that has been moved by Kawe Central Member for Parliament, Ms. Halwindi, that the thanks of the Assembly be recorded for the exposition of public policy contained in the President's address, and this is following the ceremonial opening of the second session of the 13th National Assembly by the President on Friday, 9th September 2022.
And of course, Madam Speaker informed the House that in the absence of Her Honor, the Vice President, who is attending to other government business, the Minister of Defense, Honorable Ambrose Lufuma, has been appointed acting leader of government business in the House today, Tuesday, 13th September, and tomorrow, 14th September, 2022. And Madam Speaker has also made an announcement on the composition of the Standing Orders Committee for the second session of the 13th National Assembly. And we'll give you the names of the members of this committee later.
All right. And the acting leader of government business, Pauline, did also highlight business that is expected to be considered on the floor of the House beginning today up to Friday, which includes questions for oral answer for tomorrow, and consideration of government bills if there will be any, as well as consideration of a private member's motion if there will be any, and continuation on the debate on the motion of thanks. And for Thursday, the outlook will be for questions for oral answer if there will be any, consideration of government bills if there will be any, and also debate on the motion of thanks will continue. And for Friday, we expect Her Honor the Vice President's question time to form part of business, as well as considerations of questions for oral answer if there will be any, and the presentation of government bills if there be any, and debate on the motion of thanks continues. So in the meantime, there's no quorum on the floor of the House.
There's still no quorum, and in the meantime, we look at the members of Parliament that have so far made a contribution to the motion of thanks that has been moved by Kawe Central Member of Parliament, Mrs. Chrysosta Halwindi, MP. And of course, this motion was seconded by Nkana Member of Parliament, Binwell Mpundu. And so far, we have had the Chilubi Member of Parliament add his voice to the motion that is under discussion. And on the floor of the House was a Ron Member of Parliament, Joe Chubuye, who was making his contribution just before the House took a health break.
And so this motion will continue, and this is a tradition of the House that debate has the motion has to be considered on the floor of the House, and opportunity will be given to members of Parliament to make their contributions in reaction to the address by the President, who presented the presidential address when he officially opened the second session of the 13th National Assembly on Friday. Like Paulina said, on the floor of the House is Mr. George Weah, Ron Member of Parliament, and we expect many other members of Parliament to be given opportunity to contribute to this particular motion.
Yes, Sir Julius, this motion will be discussed in the next few weeks. So almost all the members of parliament who are willing to make contribution to this will be accorded a chance actually to contribute to this motion that will be discussed the next few days, if not the next few weeks.
All right, and what is necessitated also this, the House is now no longer sitting in a hybrid system. We expect physical presence of members of parliament in the House, and with that regard, a quorum has to be present before business resumes. And just about now, it appears that we now have a quorum, and we send you back to the floor of the House.
We have lost almost 5 minutes. I was seated here, the quorum was not formed. I think we need to do better. Today is just the first day. I expect members to observe time. When business was suspended, the House was considering the motion moved by the Honorable Member for Kabwe Central that the thanks of the Assembly be recorded for the exposition of public policy contained in His Excellency the President's address, and the Honorable Member for Ron was debating. May the Honorable Member continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. In my conclusion, Madam Speaker, I want to say that in order for this new Dawn government to create jobs, or rather follow the first pillar of the 8th National Development Plan of economic growth and job creation, the people of Ron constituency is urging His Excellency the Republican President to preside over the investors, Luansha Copper Mines, to open 28 shafts today, Madam Speaker, not tomorrow. The people of Ron constituency are tired of hearing that the mines are going to be opened, but we want the President to preside over the investors that they can reopen 28 shafts. This, Madam Speaker, in addition, we even spur the 3 million metric tons that government is looking at per annually. Madam Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to add my voice to the presidential speech. Thank you.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chipili.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, to give me this opportunity to debate the presidential speech on behalf of my people of Chipili. Madam Speaker, let me first state that the speech of the President was too long. 2.5 hours, Madam Speaker. 2 hours or so. I'm not trying to sympathize with the President, but I'm just putting it out. I will use the word innuendo where people should just take note. Madam Speaker, let me talk about 2 mines in Copperbelt, which is in hands of the government. Madam Speaker, when you read, you peruse what the contents on those 2 mines, there is no clear policy. There is no direction. The position of the government, that's what I mean. I wanted to hear the President make a direction. The intention of the government is ABC.
Order.
I want to demonstrate
Order,
that.
Honorable Member for Chipili. There is a point of order being raised. The Honorable Member for Zambezi East.
Madam Speaker, I'm seated here listening attentively to the Honorable Member for Chipidi who is debating here. I am rising on Standing Order number 65, which actually compels us as members of Parliament to be factual in our debates. I heard the Honorable Member for Chipidi talk about the length of the speech of the President. And in his expansion of the
Order,
debate,
honorable members, order. You honorable members, please, you can't start making rulings while the point of order is being raised. And also, it's not your role to make the ruling. Let's just wait and hear, and then an appropriate ruling will be given. May the honorable member for Zambezi East continue.
thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this House, as you have rightly put it, is a house of rules. And the period this House sits is prescribed in the standing orders. And when the President came to this House, he came to deliver his speech within the time allocated by this House. I'm wondering whether the honorable member debating is in order to insinuate that the President's speech was too long. And in any case, I was wondering, because as he is debating, he looks like he was sleeping. Could it be that he was not listening attentively?
No,
That
honorable members, don't make imputations which you cannot prove.
the fact of my point of order, Madam Speaker, is whether he is in order to insinuate that the Republican President's speech was too long beyond what this Parliament actually allocates in terms of time for sitting. I seek your serious ruling.
Thank you. To the extent that the honorable member for Chipili said the speech was wrong, that is not correct, because the speech was delivered within the time allocated for sittings of the House. So that statement is not correct, honorable member for Chipili, but please continue. Remain factual.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think I've been interrupted with what I wanted to say on the mines. But nevertheless, I was trying to say that when you peruse, in my view, I wanted to hear the direction on these two mines. Not just to say, no, we will take care. We have taken care. We're not going to lose the jobs. I give you the practical example on the same speech of the president on Inden. When you read there, it's very clear the position of the government has been spelled out. And the Zambian people, the stakeholders, will now start deliberating on that, because the debate will not just end here. They have explained the intention, the direction that this government is going to take on Inden. That's what I was trying to say on these two mines. I don't know why they did not elaborate what their intention is on these mines. What is difficult to come out, I don't know. We don't know why they did not state the position or the intention of the government over these two mines. Madam Speaker, let me also talk about the recruitment of teachers. I listened to the speech of the president, and I'd gone through. He was talking about the past and the present. Recruitment of the teachers, 30,000, we have appreciated, we have acknowledged. It's there in public domain that the 30,000 teachers have been recruited, including the nurses. But I wanted to hear that come 2023, we are going to recruit 30,000 teachers. So that's what I wanted to hear from the president.
Order. Let's allow the honorable member.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Order.
Whether it is coming with the finance minister, I don't care, but I have to mention it. In case you leave that out, My people there who were left out during recruitment, over 80,000 plus, are hoping to see that another recruitment of 30,000 teachers is coming, and it should be every year. Then my people will start dancing. My people will start dancing to say now, the Don government has done it. That's what I want my people to start dancing. You have, Madam Speaker, if that part is not, has been left out by the President, I would urge the Finance Minister to ensure, to whisper to the President, to say, Mr. President, there is a part that we have forgotten. 30,000 teachers 2023. Madam Speaker, I mean, are you listening? Are you listening? Especially the Finance Minister. Madam Speaker, I want to see this, and the people of Zambia who appreciate, who dance together, I will help them. Bari has done it. That's what they will say. They are waiting out there to hear that there will be continuous recruitment of teachers and nurses, which has not come out in the presidential speech. Madam Speaker, may God bless you and give you more wisdom as you preside over this august house. And due to the end, I thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we don't have masks, so we can't even smile. The Honorable Member for Chama South.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me state from the onset that I would like to congratulate the petitioners for Kabushi and Kwacha. For we have been told that the High Court has stayed the elections on the Copper Belt. That is how it should be. In simple terms, there will be no elections. That's what the High Court has ruled.
Order, honorable members. Order. The notice of motion relates to the presidential address. Let's stick to that. Those announcements, you can do them later. Proceed, honorable member.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the President in his debate indicated and emphasized that the New Dawn government has actually ended load shedding in 1 year. He even gave us figures. But, Madam Speaker, I was extremely disappointed. Actually, I was perplexed by the President's claims. And I'll be advising. We have advised before. We were ignored, labeled to be UPND surrogate then, and we have ended up to be on the left because of not listening. And I'll be advising President Hakainde Hichilema. Government is a going concern. The ministers know. He knows that. Just as a company is also equally a going concern. It will do him more good if he acknowledges the successes that his predecessor had scored. It will do him more good. Clearly, we know what he went through. That is the life of a politician in Africa, though we need to change. We subject each other. We put each other go through unbearable pressures. I want to advise President Hakainde Hichilema, let him heal, If he can't heal, let him pretend to have healed. It will be something that will be good for him. I say so. Kafueloa, which he mentioned, which has a generation capacity of 750 megawatts, was a project which was initiated by the MMD government, but they never implemented a single concrete or cubic meter of concrete there. It was implemented by the Patriotic Front. These are facts, colleagues. It is the PF that implemented that project. Point of order. Commissioned by President Edgar Chagwalungu. And you know that the commissioning was supposed to be done in phases. Phase 1 gensets were switched on. President Hakainde Hichilema also completed. If we are to ask, what is it that the New Dawn government you've built at Kafue hydropower station there? Tell us in terms of percentage, nothing. So it will be very, very important that the president...
Order, Honorable Member for Chama South. There is a point of order being raised by the Honorable Minister of Agriculture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, we deal with fertilizer. Madam Speaker, I rise on a point of order pursuant to Article 65 in our standing orders, which stipulate that when you stand up to speak here, you must tell the truth because the whole country, the whole world is listening. Madam Speaker, the power station that Honorable Mngandu is referring to, Member of Parliament for Chama, Madam Speaker, yes, was started by the MMD, went through the PF. By the PF, Madam Speaker, was living a generation station which has got 5 generators, had only 1 generator installed and hardly working. Madam Speaker, this particular generating station had figures changed from a low figure to a high figure changed by the Patriotic Front. Madam Speaker, is Honorable Mngandu in order not to tell the country and the world at large that when President Hakainde Hichilema took over, he put a general manager at ZESCO, a managing director at ZESCO, who installed, Madam Speaker, 3 more generators to increase the power station and kill completely the issue of load shedding. Madam Speaker, why is Honorable Mngandu, who is a very, very able speaker, falling short of telling the truth? Is it in order, Madam Speaker, to mislead the nation? I stand on this very serious point of order, Madam Speaker, because we owe the country the truth. Madam Speaker, I seek your indulgence.
Thank you. Thank you for that point of order. Honorable members, from where I'm sitting, I don't see any value which is being added to pointing fingers as to who started, who did what, who did what. What is important is we have now sorted out the issue of load shedding. I was seated here when the presidential address was being delivered, and I heard all these things about who initiated, what happened during another stage, and what happened at another point. But what I'm saying is there is no value which is being added to the people of Zambia by apportioning blame or apportioning successes. Let's stick to the facts. Let's see, let's offer, if we see that something is wrong somewhere, let's offer alternative solutions which we can offer to the other side so that the other side can pick on those alternatives. But this idea of blaming and claiming this, and it's not going to take us anywhere. May the honorable member continue as guided.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I don't understand. If anything, Madam Speaker, ministers are expected to respond, not to raise on points of order.
I've already ruled, honorable member.
Madam Speaker, clearly, I'll be appealing to President Hakainde Hichilema that he should, where his predecessors scored, mention, then he promised that he will build on, and he will build on better than the previous administration. Zambians will be able to understand, and I believe you will be able to gain more. And like the situation is, it's up to him whether to get my advice or ignore it. 2026 is quite near. Coming to the issue of inflation, colleagues, we should understand appreciation of the kwacha. It is something that is good for our country. But do you know that exporters are seriously affected by this, especially importers? These are facts. When kwacha drastically reduces, I want to tell you that there are traders who are keeping their goods because they cannot sell it to make a loss. It's a good thing. Then I would ask Minister of Finance, what is it that we have produced, which we have exported, which has made this kwacha to appreciate? Don't just argue. You have no idea of economic fundamentals or economic principles. If you know the appreciation of the currency, there must be goods and services.
Order. Honorable members, let's try to speak through the presiding officer. Let's not talk to the honorable members. And honorable members, if you have a point, please take note, and when it's your time to debate, you'll be able to respond to whatever. Because what honorable member for Chama South is saying is his opinion. So if we have any counter views, we take a note and then we can rebut so that we can have order in the House. May the honorable member continue.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I really appreciate your ruling and guidance, Madam Speaker. What I want to seek from those on the right is to explain to the people of Zambia what is it that we have exported which has made our culture to gain. Currencies don't just gain. It's either you have removed the kwacha from its circulation, people have no money on the market, less kwacha in circulation, more dollars, means kwacha can gain. These are facts. Is it that which you have done? Then there's also goodwill. Just the announcement by IMF that we have reached the board level agreement, there's that goodwill. Those speculators who were keeping kwacha in their banks are able to release it. I mean, they were keeping dollars in their accounts. They are able to release it on the market. There are those two factors. Have we exported anything? The answer is no. Are people facing hardships because there is no money in circulation? The answer is yes. Maybe only you, because you are now in government, you have money.
Address the chair. Are you referring to me?
No, madam.
Proceed, honorable
member. Madam Speaker, these are fundamentals that we need to address as a nation. Because if the currency is appreciating and we are jumping, and yet the people are going through hardships, I want to tell you, Rupiah Banda lost an election with a very sound economy, which was not translating into the beneficiation of the citizens. The final point that I should have loved to hear from the President, the GDP of this country, I'm sure you're aware, more than 70 to 80% is dependent on copper. But the Honorable Minister of Finance and the President, you've given more rebates to copper mining companies, such that even the energy sector, I'm happy the Minister of Energy is back. We are likely to have a vicious circle because you are removing subsidies to connect a house where you are supposed to, we are paying 2,000, you'll be paying 14,000. These are facts. They've already started implementing this before ERB could approve. Now, if you have a house in Chalala, you want to connect, you'll be paying in excess of 60, 70,000 kwacha, which we are against. Don't just mention things. I've got proof. If you want me to lay it on the table of the house, there are people who are from paying those fees. These are things that we should look at. We need to build our industry, select which sectors of energy sector we can subsidize and which ones we cannot subsidize.
Order, honorable member for Chama South. The honorable Minister of Energy wants to raise a point of order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm amazed to hear that the honorable member of
Honorable
Parliament.
Minister, the order and the regulation that has been
Oh,
briefed.
sorry, I haven't got the book on. 65. 65.
Proceed, Honorable Minister.
Okay. To tell the truth is that ZESCO has not yet applied for any tariff adjustment, let alone connection fees. So I don't know where the Honorable Member of Parliament has gotten such information that the fees will go from 2,000 to 14,000. I don't believe it. Is he in order to lie to this August House?
To mislead.
Is in order to mislead the House that fees will go from 2,000 to 14,000? I seriously need your ruling on this one, Madam Speaker. I submit.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Chama South. As you debate, please comply with the requirements of Standing Order number 65. 1A, which specifically says that you should be factual. There is no speculation. If approvals have not been done, let's not mislead the members of the public that ZESCO has already approved these charges. Please proceed as guided.
Madam Speaker, I'm shocked that the minister is not aware, and yet he's heading that ministry.
Order. I've already ruled on that.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In the President called for cooperation. We are ready to work with him as members of Parliament. Provide effective checks and balances, then let them listen.
Thank you.
It's as simple as that. We are ready to work with you. Listen and hear us. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for Chama North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for according me this opportunity to debate the presidential speech, which was delivered on Friday last week. Madam Speaker, I will first go to the area of agriculture. Coming from a constituency which its economy is agriculture driven, it is true that agriculture is the mainstay of our people, especially in rural areas, employing more than 72% of the people of Zambia. Madam Speaker, reading the presidential speech, the President has acknowledged the challenges facing the agriculture sector. The President has acknowledged the challenges facing the agriculture sector in this country. He outlined those challenges, but what was absent, Madam Speaker, is late delivery of farming inputs. Because if you read that speech, it's talking about lack of extension and these others. But the main critical issue here is late delivery of farming inputs. Because even if you provide the extension officers and then you don't deliver farming inputs, then you have done nothing. So I think it is important that these issues must be addressed as quickly as possible if really the diversification agenda we have been talking about can be realized. Madam Speaker, if you look at the agriculture budget in the Ministry of Agriculture, I think the President is talking about markets, foreign markets, and so on. But I feel that we haven't done much as a country to upgrade our small-scale farmers for them to actually access a creative market on the foreign market. And I still feel that as a country, we have impoverished our own farmers by political design because we have failed to source for a ready market, a creative market, especially on the foreign market, for our small-scale farmers, especially maize farmers. That's why you find that most of our farmers have failed to graduate to higher income, because I feel that we need to actually amend the Food Reserve Agency so that instead of it just buying maize for strategic food reserves, I think it must be used as a vehicle actually to export maize on behalf of small-scale farmers. Because yes, we say that we have allowed export of maize, but the small-scale farmers in Chama have no capacity to export maize to Kenya. They have no capacity to export maize to DRC. So we must find something to ensure that our small-scale farmers were able to export on their behalf. That way you find that a bag of maize may be selling 500 on the international market. That's the only way we are going to resolve the higher budget allocation to FISIP, because these farmers will be able to buy their own farming inputs if at all they derive maximum value from their sweat. Madam Speaker, the other area I want to deal with, I think it is the area of the mining industry. The mining industry continues to play a very key role in the Zambia's economic development. Undoubtedly, more than 70% of foreign exchange earnings come from the mining industry. The president's speech says that the government is going to create an enabling environment to promote investment. Yes, while investment is welcome, but we must also realize that we must promote domestic investment. Since the copper mining industry started in the 1920s, we have not derived maximum economic benefits from our mineral wealth, except at the time after the material reforms in 1969, when the mining ownership was transferred to Zambians. That's the time we saw many infrastructure coming up in this country, Tazara, many manufacturing industries. But later, after again privatization, we saw massive job losses, we saw capital flight. So I think we need to do more to ensure that the people of Zambia derive maximum benefits from their mineral wealth. I want to concur with my comrade here who was talking about the issue of KCM and Mopani. I think when Glencore decided to offload shares to Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines, ZCCM-IH, I think that was a window of opportunity.
Order, honorable member, the use of the word comrade. We don't have comrades here. We have honorable members.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for guidance. Maybe coming from the trade union, I think we use comrades, so much guided. Madam Speaker, I was saying that when Glencore decided actually to offload those shares, I think it was a window of opportunity for this country to own the mines. So the decision which was taken by the PF government, in my view, was a national interest. Therefore, we haven't seen a clear-cut policy from the new Dawn government in as far as ownership of KCM and Mopani is concerned. We have been crying over ownership of the mines, but it's like we are not coming up with a concrete decision to ensure that Zambians can once more own the mining industry. Look what Chile. Chile has got private companies in the mining industry, and also state is running those mines. And those mines run by the state are doing very well. So I believe that we can also do the same instead of us giving tax holidays to the mining firms. At the end of the day, they externalize everything, whatever they make from our mineral wealth. So I want to see a situation where Zambians should benefit from their mineral wealth. Madam Speaker, I go to Constituency Development Fund. The President mentioned in the speech that it will undergo some changes, legal changes. I think where he's talking about expanding the Constituency Development Fund Committee, the new Dawn government has been talking about prudent management of public resources. Because if you are going to increase the number of members sitting on the CDF, it means that more resources will be going towards sitting allowances and so on. I feel that the current act is adequate. The current composition of the members of the CDF are adequate because it is well representative. The church, they are part of that. The religious leaders from the community. Now you are talking of bringing district commissioners. I believe that let's not bring politics in the administration of Constituency Development Fund. Because this is actually, I chair the district development committees. So if you put them in the CDF committee, that will be a conflict of interest. So if at all something happens wrong in the CDF committee, where are people going to run to if DCs are going to be part of the CDF committee? So I think it is important that some of these amendments we want to make, let's not look at them using political essays, because the CDF Act has been there from the time of Levi Patrick Mwanawasa until the last president. So I really don't see what is really the problem. So with those few remarks, Madam Speaker.
Order, your time is up.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Lumezi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for permitting the most marginalized people to speak to this speech. Madam Speaker, permit me to start with page 27 of the presidential speech. We are pleased to report that the country is food secure with over 1.2 million tons. Madam Speaker, earlier as we started the day, Honorable Member of Kasenengwa raised on a matter of public emergency importance, complaining about the hunger situation in Kasenengwa. Madam Speaker, in the same vein, permit me to go to page 36, good governance in creating a conducive environment for socio-economic transformation. Madam Speaker, in the same breath, let me take you to the theme of this year's speech. Working together, that's on page 4, by the way, working together towards socio-economic growth for improved livelihoods. Madam Speaker, when I listened to His Excellency address the House on this theme that is not different from the theme that was coined last year, was that probably it was addressed to our colleagues on the right. I say so, Madam Speaker, because many a times the President has preached working together. But you find people telling you, Fimba, upoke. Madam Speaker, how then?
Meaning?
Bust if you wish. Now, Madam Speaker, you tend to wonder, these speeches of saying let's work together when reality is the opposite is a problem. And implementing the messages that we preach to the people is going to be paid at a greater cost. Madam Speaker, I've got both speeches in my hands, the one delivered this year and the one delivered last year. The speech that he delivered last year on page 43, the President said, we have zero tolerance policy on corruption in all its forms. We will wage war on corruption and not spare any expense to ensure that perpetrators are made to account for their impropriety. Madam Speaker, we have reduced or we have dramatized the fight against corruption in this country. Just yesterday and the day before yesterday, we read that the Anti-Corruption Commission was summoning aspiring candidates in Kwacha and Kavushi. Where is the corruption? Aspiring to stand has become corruption in this country. Is the President addressing people that don't have ears to listen? They don't have eyes to see? Or maybe it's on purpose that people that are mandated to receive instructions from the head of state have deliberately decided not to listen to what the President says. Because what we are witnessing is that the President says something else and the opposite is what is being practiced. Madam Speaker, the President on page 44 spoke about doing away with the death penalty. Of course, it is a progressive initiative. Madam Speaker, one thing that we should have extended as we do this amendment was to look at what happens at Lusaka July. What happens to those that play with cucumbers and bananas? Madam Speaker, the law should not only be done for a certain provision. we have seen the challenge of amending this death penalty, doing away with it. Of course, very soon those that are on death penalty will be demanding for certain conjugal rights. To say, right now they're demanding for conjugal rights at Mukoweko Maximum Prison. The next thing, even those that play with bananas will demand that we do not
Oh,
criminalize such
order,
offenses.
Honorable member for Lumezi, a point of order is being raised. Honorable member for Zambezi East.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for according me the opportunity to raise this point of order. Of course, I rise on the standing order number 65, which has now become very popular in this House. Madam Speaker, our rules are very clear on relevance to what is being debated. We have a speech here, a very important speech that we need to debate and comment on. And the motion is very clear. It says thanks to the President, the speech. And that's what the honorable members are supposed to be debating. Now here we are, a member of parliament is talking about bananas, which are irrelevant issues, insinuating things that are not related to what we are debating. Madam Speaker, I seek your serious ruling to ensure that the honorable member who is debating sticks to what we are debating here. I seek your serious ruling, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that point of order that has been raised. Even me, when I was sitting here, I was wondering where we are going. I started looking for a page where the president was talking about bananas and cucumbers. I did not see any. I did not see anything about Lusaka July. Please, honorable members, as we debate, let's remain relevant and let's not debate from common sense. That's why this speech was given to the honorable members to look at it thoroughly, to research. We have a very capable research department, which honorable members are not taking advantage of and are not utilizing. Let's remain relevant to the speech. Let's make proposals that are going to enhance what the president was talking about. Let's criticize, but let's offer workable solutions. That is the role of a member of parliament. May the honorable member for Lumezi continue as guided.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thought that as I was speaking to the speech on page 44, permit me to quote, to ensure that the country has harmonized penal provisions. Government has commenced a process to repeal and replace the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia, and the Criminal Procedure Code, Chapter 88 of the Laws of Zambia, to extend, in my own view, as sent here by the good people of Lumezi to speak on their behalf, there should have been extension, Madam Speaker. Not that I said that was from the presidential speech. Harmonized penal provisions. Madam Speaker.
Honorable member for Lumezi, have guided. Please proceed with your debate as guided.
If we go to page 41, Madam Speaker, land ownership. We've got people that have had no title deeds for so many years. We've had people that have left assets that have died. Their children have also died, and we are failing to give them title deeds. Madam Speaker, on page 47, the President again emphasized we have a duty to unite this country. And indeed, if we continue on this trajectory, we shall not unite this country, Madam Speaker. We are here sent by the people to speak on their behalf. And we tend to trivialize issues because we still think we are campaigning. We are not here to campaign. We are here to speak for our people.
Honorable member, relevance again. Please be relevant to the speech. Proceed.
Speaker, initially I had no intent of debating because I knew I'll be curtailed. So thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Everybody, honorable members, let me assure you has got a right to debate. Each honorable member has 8 minutes within which to debate. How you utilize that 8 minutes is up to each honorable member. But remember, as you are speaking, as you are debating, you are doing that on the people that elected you to send you to this house to represent them. So let's add value to the wishes and the will of the people of Zambia, not for personal gratification or personal interest. Let's bear that in mind as we debate. And as I said, let's offer alternative, workable solutions. That is the role of a member of parliament. Any further debate? Anyway, it's the first day. We are still getting used to debating. Acting leader of government business, adjournment.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the House do now adjourn.
The question is that the House do now adjourn. Any debate? Any objection? The question is agreed to. The House is now adjourned.
Right, business has closed with Lumezi Member of Parliament, Mr. Munia Zulu, being the last Member of Parliament. But of course, the motion has not been concluded, and this is a motion to the President's motion of thanks to His Excellency, the President's address. Pauline.
Yes, Julius, this motion will continue the next few days, if not the next few weeks. The House will continue debating this motion. And we have had quite a number of members of parliament make a contribution to this motion. We had Nkana Member of Parliament Binwa Mpundu, Chilubi Member of Parliament Mhulenga Fube, and also Ron Member of Parliament George Buye, as well as Chikwidi Member of Parliament Paul Chala. Others included Chama South Member of Parliament David Mwandu, and also Chama North Yotam Mutaya Chalo. So those are some of the members of parliament that added their voice to the motion of thanks to His Excellency the President's address that was delivered on Friday. And now we look at what has been discussed on the floor of the House other than the motion of thanks.
All right, the House began with an announcement by Madam Speaker, in which she informed the House that she had received communication to effect that in the absence of Her Honor the Vice President, who is attending to other government business, the Honorable Minister of Defense, Honorable Ambrose Lufuma, MP, has been appointed acting leader of government business in the House from today, Tuesday 13th September to 14th September 2022. And after that, we had another announcement, and Pauline, this was constitution of the Standing Orders Committee for the second session of the 13th National Assembly.
Yes, Madam Speaker announced the composition of the Standing Orders Committee for the second session of the 13th National Assembly. And the members, she announced that the members who constitute this particular committee will include Madam Speaker herself as chairperson. Others will be the Honorable Leader of Government Business in the House, the Honorable First Deputy Speaker as Vice Chairperson, and also the Honorable Second Deputy Speaker. The Honorable Minister of Finance and National Planning will also serve on this committee, and the Honorable Government Chief Whip. Others include the Honorable Leader of Opposition, the Honorable Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Deputy Government Chief Whip, Honorable Mr. S. Kampyongo, Mr. N. Chilangwa, Mr. M. Jamba, as well as Mr. Emmanuel Musonda. So those are the members of Parliament that will serve on the Standing Orders Committee.
And of course, this is in accordance with Article 80 of the Constitution of Zambia, amended Act number 2 of 2016, and Standing Orders number 1881. The Standing Orders Committee, and that's that enshrines the composition of the Standing Orders Committee, and so those are the pieces of rules and regulations and pieces of legislation that facilitate for the composition of the Standing Orders Committee. And this particular reference is for the second session of the 13th National Assembly. After that, we had questions for oral answer, 7 of them in total, and so we look at some of the highlights in the questions for oral answer today, which began with a question that came from Chasefu Member of Parliament, Mr. Nyambose, directed to the Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, in which he wanted to find out whether the government had any plans to recruit police officers in 2022, and if so, whether there are any plans to decentralize the recruitment of process to constituency level. And the minister has informed the House that the Zambia Police Service has plans to recruit up to 3,000 police officers in 2022, and that is if the Treasury Authority is granted, and that he also informed the House that the recruitment process to the service has always been decentralized, as members of the public do tender in their submissions of rather or invitation to this recruitment exercise at district level, which is then also shortlisted rather again at a provincial level. And in this manner, he says the recruitment process to the service has been decentralized from inception.
Another question came from a Patizia Member of Parliament. Just one of the questions came from a Patizia Member of Parliament, and she posed a question to the Minister of Health, and she wanted to know whether government has any plans to construct a district hospital in Zimba district, and if so, when the plans will be implemented, and what the cost of the estimated cost of the project is, and what the estimated time frame for the completion of the project is. And in response, the acting Minister of Health indicated that government has plans to construct a total of 36 district hospitals, and these actually have already, the construction has already started, and it is at various levels across the country. So when plans will be implemented, the minister indicated that the hospital at Zimba district will be considered actually after the completion of the 36 hospitals that are under construction across the country. And what the estimated cost of the project is, the minister also said that this will only be known upon the award, after the award has been awarded to the prospective bidders.
Mr. Cliff Mpundu, Chamber Member of Parliament, did pose a question to the Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts, and wanted to find out whether the government has any plans to construct sports development centers countrywide in all districts. And in response to this, the Minister has informed the House that it's a desire of our government to construct sports development centers in all district countrywide, and he did inform the House that the plans will be implemented as funds are made available. He further went on to inform the House that in the meantime, government is engaging cooperating partners for alternative resource mobilization for the project.
We also had one question that came from Nyimba Member of Parliament, and he posed a question to the Minister of Justice, and he wanted to know when the construction of local courts in Nyimba and the Katipa areas will be constructed. And he also wanted to know the cause of the delay in completing the project, as well as what the name of the contractor is and the time frame for the completion of the project. And in response, the minister indicated that the project to construct local courts in Nyimba was underway, and he said that in Katipa, this will be done once the drawing and bill of quantity has been submitted to the authorities. And for Nyimba, he said that this project will be completed towards the end of 2022, and that the funds for the remaining completions are available. And the cause of the delay in completing the project, the minister indicated that this was due to the delay from the contractor, and that was between the period 2015 and 2021. However, indicated that the money was currently available. And he said that the name of the contractor was Shazam Construction Limited. And of course, this will be completed in the next 4 months, which is at the end of this year.
Mr. Paul Chala, Chipili Member of Parliament, did pose a question to the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, in which wanted to find out whether the rehabilitation of the road from Mushimba village to Chikubi in Chipili constituency had stalled. And in response to this, the Minister has informed the House that progress on the rehabilitation works stalled due to lack of funds, and that the contractor is awaiting payment for the works already certified. With regards to when the project will resume, the minister did inform the House that the project will resume as soon as government secures funds for the remaining works, and that constructor to this project was Mr. Tansley Enterprises rather limited. And with this regard, that as of 20th March 2022, the contractor had been paid an amount of the sum of about 3.4 million kwacha.
Yes, so those are some of the questions that we had, and of course we had one question for written answer that was posed by Bangweulu Member of Parliament, Mr. Kasandwe, and he wanted to find out from the Minister of Education how many students were awarded student loans for the 2020-2021 academic year at the following universities, that is the University of Zambia, Copperbelt University, University of Chalimbana, Kwame Nkrumah, Mukuba, as well as Palavana and Mulungushi universities, and how much was paid to each student at each of the universities. And of course this question has been responded to, or has been acted upon and given to the Member of Parliament concerned.
All right, and this is what we say about questions for written answer. As you can see, the response to this question can seemingly be bulky and so cannot be admitted as a question of oral answer to be discussed on the floor of the House, but by its nature, it's taken note of response given to the Member of Parliament and also recorded as part of today's business. And after the questions for oral answer session, like we earlier stated, the House considered a motion of thanks to His Excellency the President's address, whose contribution today has closed with contributions coming from Lumezi Member of Parliament, Mr. Munia Zulu, thereby bringing to the end of today's business of the House until tomorrow morning.
Yes, Julia, so that's what we had today, and it is our prayer that you join us again tomorrow at 14:30 hours when we begin business of the House. So from all of us here at the Parliament Studios, we wish you a lovely evening.